there's a part of the P2, P3 that goes missing, because once, there's also communication that occurs in the field that can't be measured. Sergeant Feiner is going to enlighten us on that.
Sergeant, we need your name and your position.
Adam Feiner, Sergeant with the Pembroke Pines Police. I'm here representing the police union, the PBA. My comments are not going to be in unison with the gentleman from BSO behind us and ladies, nor the command staff from police and fire. But I've made some notes as well, just like Commissioner Seipel has. Some things have been discussed have been very important, but some other things are applicable to road patrol, which I'm a part of. In my 19-year career, I've never left road patrol or operations, so I've held positions where I've always been connected to the radio and road patrol and the uniformed services. Quite frankly, I think it puts my command, the captain and the chief, in a position where it's a little unrealistic and it's not so relevant to ask them their position on what's actually occurring in the field, because just like Fire Chief Fernandez indicated, it's 24, 48, or 72 hours, those were his words, that they're able to review the facts. Just like the representatives from BSO are able to review the facts. But they're doing it from behind a computer. They're capturing data, and they're presenting all the information to you. I'd like to offer you a little bit of some real-world experiences that we've had. There's a lot of talk about P1 or P2, whatever it may be, and the Gallagher standards. Tom Gallagher was a friend of mine before we switched to BSO, or before we left BSO, and during and after his time at Pembroke Pines. I'm in the unique position that I know what it's like to be blessed to work in road patrol, deal with communications at a level that I believe, in my opinion, is below average, substandard, and then go to a peak level of performance when we went to our own in-house dispatch. And it is incredibly frustrating to be back in BSO's communications system when their standard, as well as they may be doing it, is not what I expect. It's not what the men and women of the police department expect. We can give you concrete answer and concrete example after example for what is really occurring on the road that will humiliate and embarrass them relative to their explanations about the data that they capture. Commissioner Schwartz is talking about an incident that occurred about a week ago, it's my understanding, from sitting and listening. Officer Cabello, about 3 or 4 months ago, had the exact same circumstances. His problem was he went to a house that was flagged and targeted for a mentally ill person who had made threats to harm and injure law enforcement. And but for him going there previously, he got out of the car and recognized it and said, something's up here. Later on, after the fact, we were able to recognize that those dispatch comments weren't relayed. And I can go on and on as often or as long as the commission would like to give you hard, concrete examples that are relative to road patrol. I'm here all night. If you want to hear more, feel free. I also want to let you know that BSO is citing that they are doing the Tom Gallagher model. I think the most important question to ask is how well are they doing it? Because they've answered that they're doing it. Sure they are. Hats off. We applaud them for doing it. But how well are they doing it? Tom Gallagher had a practice in place where if you called 911, the phone was answered on one ring, not 10 seconds as what was indicated. I challenge every one of you when you're at home, if you see something in your neighborhood that needs police service, call 911. When you're driving to and from work, call from your cell phone. Make a note. See how long it takes to get a police officer there. Call the chief afterwards and say, hey, I called 911 at this time. And then find out after the fact, how long did it take to dispatch an officer there? How long did it take for the officer to arrive there? Because this type of data is a lot different than what's being fed to you here. It is a very divisive issue with our patrol members. It's created safety concerns not only for the police officers, but as a supervisor, I handle complaints from the public where they say, what took so long for a police officer to get here? And quite frankly, those are the most enjoyable complaints I can handle because I don't have to do any involvement with the officers who may have had wrongdoing because there's none on their behalf. I simply have to inform the person who's complaining that it's out of our hands and it's out of our control. But I can't tell you how many complaints I handle as a supervisor when members of the community say those types of things. Maybe BSO will have a more appropriate answer than me, but I can't answer more than that. So I think that there's a distinct difference between perception and reality, and for what's occurring on the road is definitely reality. Perception has been brought here tonight to you with figures and stats and whatever models they're doing. The real root question, we've been with BSO for 2.5 years. It's not a matter of how long you're going to give them to figure out what they will do to improve. We know they're not going to be able to meet our level. You, as a commission, simply need to determine one thing. It's not a matter of time. If you're going to accept mediocrity, Tell our members of patrol, and it won't be divisive, and we won't be frustrated. We'll know that the men and women are going to be dispatched by BSO for communications, and the issue will go away. But there's an expectation that the men and women of the police department are hoping and praying that we'll be pulled out so we can have significant and credible improvements. Please tell us if you're not going to do that. And if you want to accept mediocrity, you can give them all day long. It's fine. But if not, tell our membership, tell our men and women that you care more about making them and the community not safe, like the commissioner said, Commissioner Castillo, he wants to be safe here. Let's be safer, not safe. Anybody can do a good job being safe. Let's be safer. So when you're ready, it's an easy decision to make. Do you want to stay with BSO and be mediocre, or would you like to achieve peak performance and see that level of commitment that Tom Gallagher established for us, the level of service that our chief instills in every one of us, with everything that's placarded on our walls, with a level of commitment and being premier? We can only go so far. Communication is a vital part of our operations, and if we have substandard communications, we're going to have substandard service. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Sergeant.
Okay, Commissioner Schwartz, time to bring this eagle in for a landing.
Yeah, Vice Mayor, does that change your perception any?
I'm sorry, say
Does
again?
that change, does Sergeant Feiner's comments change your perception on having no strings attached, let's wait to pull the trigger? Are you set as far as your comments earlier, or has Sergeant Feiner changed your view at all?
Talking to you. He's asking you a question.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you-
I'm aware of that. I don't know that I can answer that, Commissioner.
Do you want to wait? If
Yeah, I'm
that's
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If that's the case, do you want to wait until the first meeting of August to answer that question?
I would like to do that.
Okay,
think
I will
that-
give you
I
that.
think
I
the
will
mayor's
give you that.
suggestion is a good one.
I will give you that, and Mayor, I will defer to the very first meeting of August. There is no more, this is it.
August 3rd.
This is it. So whatever homework that needs to be done, do it. We have a summer break. I can tell you for the last 2.5 years, there hasn't been a month that's gone by where I haven't asked the men and women of our police department and of our fire department, how's things going? How can we improve it? I've reached out to the sheriff. I've reached out to the county. I've reached out to our city manager. The first meeting of August, we're done. These folks need to have a timeline. They need to have a benchmark. They need to have a goal.
I can live with that.
Hold on a second. Mayor Sturman, did you want to say anything? Did you come here just to say hello? Good. Okay, there is a motion to defer and a second until the first meeting, which is August the 3rd. Now, with that, we can discuss because it's time certain. I would say to you gentlemen at the county, the mayor of Pembroke Pines' patient is running low. I would suggest you take our energetic sergeant, get together and see what you can do. And I'm just, just
We need to take a
suggesting.
motion on the defer?
We do. We got a motion and we got a second.
We need to take a vote, I'm saying.
I don't know,
No,
but I said we could
I was
discuss. it.
asking you.
No. Okay. All right. On the motion to defer. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm opposed, Mayor.
Okay, ayes do have it. We'll bring this back, city manager, on August the 3rd. Thank you all.